Welcome back to the Andujo Boxing Review. It's exciting to be here. Popeye here.
Christoph, go ahead and like and subscribe so that way you know when our next videos are coming up. You can check us out.
Well, today we're going to be doing a boxing review on Sophie Gallagher. It's a very intriguing story of some health issues that has really prolonged her, her boxing career, along with other sports such as soccer and stuff that she's played. Really sad story. When I heard this, I followed her dad on Instagram, and very touching story because this is a young lady, 12 years old. She turned 12 this past February, and very athletic young lady. As I mentioned, she was playing sports since the age of 6, soccer, boxing, very active, healthy style of living, to all of a sudden, getting these symptoms in which she just felt fatigued, flu symptoms, bones were always in pain. When I heard the story, it really touched me, I really wanted to share about, her life, what she's going through, for 2 reasons, One, because to me, this is an athlete that's like a hero, and that's very inspiring to other athletes. And that's why I really want to do this video, is to show how courageous she is and how she can make a difference, and how nothing should stop your dreams, what you want to fulfill in life when it comes to sports, because you have some type of illness. And then second, because it's a disease that went on for almost 2 years, in which they kept telling the dad that there was nothing wrong with her, and that basically she was going to be used as a, what was the word you used earlier?
She was going to be used as a pincushion, basically.
Exactly. So. And it was kind of sad because during the whole time they didn't know what was wrong with her, and a lot of the doctors were being sarcastic. So I also wanted to wear awareness of this rare disease. Who knows how many people are going through it that don't even know what this is. So that's why I thought it was imperative, and I felt compelled to go ahead and do this boxing review. So what is this disease, Chris?
So the disease that Sophie has is called Hashimoto disease. Now, I'm not a doctor or anything, but from what we researched, checking out everything about the symptoms, is a lot of fatigue, aches and pains, which, as athletes, you work out, you get up in the morning and you feel aches and pains, so it could be really hard to track down if you actually have a disease. It's not like just common symptoms of just working out really hard. So I can definitely see how it'd be hard to track down and figure out exactly what's wrong with her. Just for any normal person, it's going to be hard to work out, but the drive after reading the symptoms that this girl has, it's incredible. I didn't know about the disease until I was told by Popeye about Sophia, and then we did some research and looked into it, and it looks really hard to live with, and it can be lifelong. She might have to live with this her entire life.
It's also life-threatening. It hasn't gotten to that point for her yet, but I just wanted to add that to it. It's life-threatening.
Yeah, she has to live with this every single day. She wakes up, she goes to training, she works out really hard. She's incredibly dedicated. I don't know what it's like to have to go through something like that, and it's inspiring. Inspiration is definitely the right word when it comes to Sophia. So it just gives you an extra drive to know that, okay, it could be way worse. So hopefully they do eventually find a cure or something they can do with all the science coming up. That would be amazing. And another thing I was thinking about when reading about what can help is hormone therapy, so it can help regulate the disease. So I just worry for her as far as her professional career when she starts having to get into the doping, like the doping and everything. Hopefully she'll, with awareness coming to the disease, hopefully we figure out something for people like this that are competing. So she's a professional athlete. She's gonna get to that. She has an incredible drive. She gets to that next level. Hopefully, you know, we can work things out, because if you're popping on a test or you're in a doping pool, you know, hopefully there's no problems in the future with anything like that. Because I want to see her go far. I want to see her do well, and be healthy. So.
Well, how she inspires me is, growing up, I played a lot of sports myself. You know, I played like football. I did boxing all the way up to I was the age of, from the 12 to I was 18. Then I had an incident with my arm, and I'm not going to get into that. But, I was very athletic. And in a sense, I can relate, because when I had an operation on my arm, that stopped my boxing career in general, because it took 2 to 3 years for my arm to heal. So by that time, so much other stuff happened. I was really older, I had to work and whatnot, and one thing led to another. So I couldn't proceed with my boxing career, not as an amateur or as a pro, So I at least now share my knowledge of what I know in boxing to teach other kids that want to do it. And that's why I also do these boxing reviews, because I like, to really do a review on, the talent that's out there, inspiring people such as Soph. But I can relate how hard it is when you're trying to get somewhere and you're really good and athletic, and then something's forbidding you from doing that, whether it's a disease or an operation or some type of health issue. But this is very inspiring also, because, I remember when I was either practicing for football, whether I was training for a fight or whatever, how hard it is, to just get up in the mornings and diet. Then you got the psychological part, right? The mental part that tells you, man, the heart's willing, but the mind is not. Sometimes the mind is, but the heart isn't. Sometimes the mind and the heart are, but your body just feels weak. And so then you just have to mentally push yourself to do these things, right? And that's being healthy. And it's inspiring that this 12-year-old Sophie, gets up in the morning and she has this disease that, has joint pain. She's gotten chest pains as far as like flu symptoms, kind of like an asthma type of reaction. And so she has to push through that illness on top of, what a regular athlete has to push through, which is the dieting and all the other aspects of being in the sport. So for her to be able to push through every single day and still want to succeed, to me, that's very inspiring right there. And I think that, as athletes and just anyone in general, like, we need to get up in the morning and, be grateful to the Lord that, we're healthy. If we have things going on, with our health, to keep striving, to get better, find solutions. The other thing with the Soph's situation is, as I mentioned earlier, is that, she went almost 2 years not knowing what the symptoms were that she had to cope with. And, she wanted to box since the age of 6. And she had joined 1 or 2 gyms, and, pretty much they let her go because they did not understand her health situation. Could you imagine that? A girl, 12 years old, probably younger then, because she's been playing sports since she was 6, at 6 years old. And a gym pretty much letting you know, hey, you don't fit here because, whatever it is, symptoms that she has. Mm-hmm. That must have been devastating for her and her family.
And her confidence.
Yeah. Exactly. So, you're an athlete. What if you put yourself in her shoes? Like, what would you be feeling if a gym tells you, hey, we can't work with you anymore. You just don't fit in.
Yeah, that would hurt, honestly. That would, like a knife to the chest. That would hurt.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But the good news is the dad was shopping at a athletic store, and a gentleman there, Wayne Elcock, mentioned that he owned the gym. And the gym's name is Mad Dog's Gym. It's right there in UK, Birmingham. And, you know, the coach said, hey, I have coaches there that can really work with her, you know, and teach her well. And so, you know, Mr. Gallagher took his daughter there, and she loves it. They've really embraced her. They understand her situation. And she's doing a lot better as far as, you know, with her boxing career. Like, she's still going through a lot of struggles with, you know, on and off health issues. But that must have been a great confidence booster now, from going to gyms that did not want to tolerate it to now an inspiring gym that's actually, you know, not only teaching her great skills, boosting her confidence, just feeling wanted, you know, feeling like, hey, no, I actually belong here and they understand what I'm going through. Like, you know, that's just amazing that this gym did that, you know, for her. And through the process, I know that she's still going through a lot of care.
Mm-hmm.
So at age 10, a doctor reached out to her dad saying that they would allow her to be in a medical program in which they would give her a lot of treatment. So periodically she has to go in for shots and a bunch of other therapy sessions that she has to do in between, you know, already being in pain, still, you know, driving to do the sport. And she still has her up and downs, but for the most part, I think how she's a survivor is her positive thinking. You know, being able to get up in the morning and knowing, hey, you know what, this is not going to hold me back. I'm still going to box. I'm still going to play soccer. Sure, I have this pain, and I'm sure that mentally, you know, she has her downs, but just in general, you know, she's just a fighter.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that. Yeah, a fighter with a lot of heart already. Yeah, that's a really good point.
As you were mentioning earlier, some of the symptoms, I mean, it also, weight gain is one of them. You know, she always lived a healthy lifestyle, always motivated with sports, you know, so she was always in great shape. And then the dad also didn't understand why on the side she was getting these weight gains. And it was just part of the Hashimoto's disease, is what they call it. So for a lot of you out there, if you guys are having any of these type of symptoms and you guys don't understand, your doctor keeps telling you that, you know, they don't know what's wrong, that there's nothing wrong with you. There's a disease called Hashimoto's, and that disease gives you all these symptoms. So, you know, check it out. But, you know, we really need to live off of the model of Soph here, because, you know, with everything she's going through with her health, and still motivated to do sports and get up in the mornings and deal with everything that she has to, is a very spectacular. And I mean, I give her a lot of kudos because that's a really strong mentality.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're gonna go ahead and check her out. We're gonna list off her Instagram right now. Sophie Gallagher, 1875. Sophie Gallagher, 1875.
Yeah, check out her story. She's a very amazing person. Her main coach is Jim B681. So check out his page. You know, I don't know him personally, but I've gone through his page. He seems like a great, awesome coach. Very motivating. He's done a great deal to help Sophie, you know, each day with her boxing, as well as really inspiring her to do her best. So I think we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
You know, we just really wish Soph the very best. You know, I'll continue to stay in touch with them, and I'm sure she's going to do amazing things. I'm sure she's going to conquer this disease, and she'll keep talking about it and motivating others, you know. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos.